When the zero tolerance policy ended after a court decision, I understand that hundreds of children continued to be separated from their parents at the border, and unless someone corrects me, I believe they're still taking place to this day. On the criteria of either criminal history or best interests of the child. Is my understanding basically right, Chief Hastings?
That's correct. Guidance was put out immediately that basically identified when child separation would occur to the agents.
Well, can you tell us generally what the standard is there?
I can. It is a referral for a parent legal guardian for prosecution of a felony. Parent legal guardian presents a danger to the child. Parent legal guardian has a criminal conviction for violent misdemeanors or felonies. And then the parent or legal guardian has a communicable disease.
So I've gotten word of some disturbing stories of families being torn apart for reasons which appear not to fall within those categories, but I understand there's some generality and abstractness to the way that that memo is written. You're quoting from the June 27th, 2018 interim guidance. For example, if a child was separated from a parent because the parent had had a marijuana arrest or conviction, would you see that as outside of this memo, or would you see that as an acceptable interpretation of this memo?
It'd be a case-by-case basis, and I would want to see all the facts of everything that was presented.
But assuming that there were no other salient facts offered, would it be enough that there was a marijuana conviction in someone's record?
Again, it would be case-by-case. I'd need the totality of the circumstances to make that decision.
Well, I mean, I understand it's case-by-case. That's how the justice system works. But we take case-by-case, and then we apply rules. And what I'm looking for is what is the rule that's to be applied on a case-by-case basis? Would a marijuana arrest or conviction fall within? I mean, it doesn't look like it's prosecution for a felony, and it doesn't look like it's a criminal conviction for a violent misdemeanor or felony. Wouldn't that fall outside?
Well, again, I would want to see the totality of the circumstances to see if there were other convictions, other things out there.
All right, so if you're in charge and you've got enormous experience, if you can't tell us, how is somebody, a line person in the Border Patrol, supposed to make that determination? I mean, can one make a decision one way about a marijuana arrest and then another officer make another decision about a marijuana arrest?
If the agent has a questions, they will refer that through our legal counsel and work with our legal counsel to make sure they're making the right decision in accordance with this guidance that's been put out.
The National Immigration Justice Center represented a woman who I'll call Maria, who was separated from her 3-year-old for more than 3 months because Customs and Border Patrol thought that she had a criminal history in her home country. She was not reunited with her son until U.S. lawyers were able to obtain proof from El Salvador that she had no such record. What steps are taken to prevent mistakes and errors? Because the impact is obviously devastating on a family. None of us, I'm sure, can contemplate having a missing or lost child for more than 15 minutes, much less for 3 months.
Sir, I'm not aware of the specific case, but I'd be glad to look at it and get back to you.
But what's being done to prevent mistakes from being the basis for decisions?
So as I said earlier, a separation is not taken lightly. We run every check, make sure to the best of our ability that we can by running all criminal records checks, working with other entities, sometimes even foreign law enforcement offices, to make sure that everything that we're told is true and correct, and to the best of our due diligence, make sure that we're doing things properly.
If a mother or father has HIV positive status, is that alone enough to justify separation from their child?
It is. It's a communicable disease under the guidance.
Because we have reports of people being separated from their kids on that basis. Is that what we mean by communicable disease? It's not communicable through ordinary contact.
That's the guidance that we follow.
And that came from your legal counsel, or that came from the chief of Border Patrol, or? Where did that come from?
I'm not sure if that came from legal counsel. We just see that, I believe that's defined as a communicable disease.
Do you have a list of the communicable diseases?
Not with me, no, sir.
I mean, the flu is communicable. Would we separate parents from kids if a mom or dad had the flu?
We are not, sir.
Okay, I see my time is up. I yield back. Thanks.